Okay, let's unpack this. The global economy is shifting. And, well, for many thinking about retirement or maybe a long-term move, Asia keeps popping up. It looks like a beacon for, financial freedom and a really vibrant lifestyle.
It definitely does on the surface.
So we're taking a deep dive into the sources you've pulled together on retiring in Asia. We want to distill the absolute must-know details for, say, 2025, especially looking at these huge differences in costs, visas, and the critical tax stuff.
Right. Our mission today really is to cut through the noise. We need to get past the glossy travel pictures. We have to highlight the financial and logistical complexities. Things like recent tax changes, those regulatory shifts, because that's what determines if a place is actually viable for you, long term.
Yeah, that gap between the dream and the reality, it's often in that fine print, isn't it?
Exactly. Those details matter.
Okay, so the first thing that just jumps right out is the incredible range of costs. It's massive. Asia genuinely offers everything ultra affordable on one end
Yeah.
and world-class luxury on the other. So there really is a place for almost every budget.
Almost any budget, yeah. But understanding what kind of lifestyle that budget actually buys, that's the key part. If we connect this to the bigger picture, I mean, the sources show this huge disparity. On the really low end, you've got countries like Vietnam.
Vietnam comes up a lot for affordability.
It does. A comfortable life there, and we're talking, renting a decent apartment, eating out often, covering daily stuff. It's estimated as low as maybe $1,000 a month, even in a city.
$1,000. That's pretty profound.
Yeah.
The sources mention cities like Da Nang
Mhm.
with the beaches and mountains.
Yeah, Da Nang or Da Lat, which is cooler, more colonial vibes.
And those are examples of hitting that like $1,000 sweet spot.
They can be, yeah. If you're willing to lean into the local lifestyle, local markets, local food.
Right. Makes sense. Because as soon as you start wanting imported goods, Western restaurants all the time.
Exactly. That cost creeps up. Now, contrast that with the other extreme, Singapore.
Okay, yeah. Different world entirely.
Completely. For people prioritizing absolute top-tier urban amenities, efficiency, amazing infrastructure, the price point just skyrockets.
Singapore. Comfortable monthly costs easily hitting $4,000.
Easily. And that's often before you factor in the really high property rents.
So you're basically paying Western prices, maybe even higher sometimes.
You are, but you're getting that infrastructure, the stability, the quality of services in return. It's a trade-off.
So where do most people actually land? Because those are two extremes.
Well, what's fascinating is the strong middle ground. This seems to appeal to a lot of retirees, people who want a good mix, right? Affordability, but still decent developed services.
Okay.
So we're looking at places like Bali, Indonesia, maybe around $1,700 a month. For the Philippines, a couple could live very comfortably, say $1,500 to $2,000 a month in places like Dumaguete.
Dumaguete, right?
And crucially, we also have Malaysia in this bracket.
Ah, Malaysia. Yeah, it sometimes gets a bit overlooked.
It does, but the sources position cities like Georgetown and Penang or Kuala Lumpur. They're in that reasonable cost of living range, but they also offer really excellent health care.
And English proficiency is high there too, right? Makes settling in easier.
It's very high, yes. So that range, let's say roughly $1,500 to maybe $2,500 a month, that seems to be the first big filter for people looking.
Got it. That helps narrow it down initially. Okay, so that brings us nicely to the next, massive hurdle. Dreaming about moving is one thing. Staying long-term, legally, that's a whole different ballgame. Let's dig into the visa and residency requirements. Because just doing visa runs, relying on tourist visas, that's not a sustainable plan for retirement, is it?
No, not really. It's stressful and insecure. So this raises the big question. How easy is it to actually establish residency? Some countries do have pretty clear pathways purpose-built for retirees.
Like the Philippines, you mentioned the SRRV.
Exactly. The Philippines offers the Special Resident Retirees Visa, the SRRV.
And that's the one based on a deposit, right? You put money into a Philippine bank.
That's correct. It requires a specific deposit. The amount varies a bit based on age and pension status, but yes. And it grants you, effectively, permanent residency status as long as you meet the age and health requirements.
That sounds relatively straightforward. That simplicity must be a big draw.
It really is. Similarly, Thailand, it remains a longtime favorite. It has its specific non-immigrant OA retirement visa.
Right, the OA. For over 50s?
For those over 50, yes. It requires proof of a certain level of monthly income or a specific lump sum kept in a Thai bank account.
And that's reviewed annually, I believe.
Reviewed annually, yes. It's a well-established process, though some say it's becoming a bit more bureaucratic lately. Still, it's a clear path.
Okay. And what about Indonesia? Thinking Bali specifically.
Right. For that tropical paradise feel, Indonesia, particularly Bali, caters to those over 60 with a retirement visa. It can be valid for up to 5 years.
Over 60.
But here's where the numbers really matter again. You have to demonstrate proof of sufficient income, enough to live comfortably without working in Indonesia. The thresholds can fluctuate, but we're talking verifiable, regular income streams. It's not usually just about having a big savings pot.
Got it. Regular income proof.
Then you hit the places where just being retired isn't enough. These are the roadblocks. In these locations, long-term residency often means you need substantial capital or maybe a business presence.
Like Vietnam. The sources seem clear on that.
Very clear. Vietnam does not offer a straightforward retirement visa pathway. To stay long-term there, typically you'd need to, say, set up a business or make a significant investment into the country to qualify for multi-year residency cards.
So it's more of an active involvement, not just passive retirement.
Exactly. And then, of course, Singapore. We talked about the high cost of living.
Yeah, the $4,000 a month place.
While getting long-term residency there usually requires substantial investment, too, through high-tier employment passes or specific investor programs like the Global Investor Program.
So the price of admission isn't just the monthly cost. It's that big upfront financial requirement for the legal right to stay.
Precisely. And that selection process, well, it filters out a lot of potential long-term movers right away.
Understandable. Okay, this section, this is where it gets really interesting. And honestly, where people often get caught out.
This is critical.
You might find that perfect spot, say $1,500 a month, feels like paradise.
Yeah.
Only to potentially lose thousands later on unexpected tax rules, especially once you become a legal resident.
This is the make or break section for many, financially speaking.
So we have to scrutinize tax policy, because that's what truly dictates your financial freedom in the end.
Absolutely. We need to distinguish between places that tax based on source where the money is made and places that tax based on residency where you live. For example, Singapore. Generally, it doesn't tax foreign-sourced income.
Meaning, if my pension or investments are outside Singapore, and I don't bring the money into Singapore.
Generally, yes. If it stays outside, Singapore doesn't tax it. That makes it highly attractive for wealthier retirees with global assets.
Okay, that sounds great, but as was. What about places that maybe used to be like that or were perceived that way, but things have changed?
Yes. And this is huge. The sources highlight a massive critical shift. In one of the most popular retirement destinations, Thailand.
Thailand. Okay, this sounds important.
It's absolutely crucial for anyone planning maybe a higher income retirement in a favorite spot like Chiang Mai or Phuket or Bangkok. Thailand changed its tax policy. It started rolling out in early 2024.
What changed?
They've moved to include worldwide income for tax residents.
Okay, let's break that down because worldwide income sounds significant.
It is.
Before 2024, if I retired in Thailand, and let's say I had a big pension from the UK or investment gains in the US, Thailand only taxed that income if I physically brought the money into Thailand in the same tax year I earned it. Is that basically right?
That's generally how the old interpretation worked, yes. It was based on remittance within the year. Now, under the 2024 change, if you establish tax residency in Thailand, which usually means living there 180 days or more in a calendar year,
Right.
you are potentially subject to Thai tax on your entire global income, regardless of whether you bring it into Thailand or not.
Wow. Okay. That completely changes the financial calculation.
Fundamentally.
So if you're a retiree relying on, say, a large foreign investment portfolio or a significant rental income from back home,
Yeah.
you could suddenly be paying the Thai tax rate on all of that global earning.
That's the potential impact, yes. The specifics are still being clarified in some areas, but that's the direction.
So that cost of living advantage Thailand was famous for.
Yeah.
It could just vanish overnight for some people because of taxes.
It could be significantly eroded, yes, especially for higher earners. Before 2024, Thailand was often seen as a great place for tax optimization. Now, you have to weigh that cost of living very carefully against potentially being taxed on your whole global portfolio.
So paradoxically, a place like Singapore or maybe Malaysia, which might have slightly higher living costs,
Right.
could actually offer better net financial freedom now if they don't tax your foreign income as aggressively.
That's exactly the calculation people need to make now. It's about the net amount you keep after all costs and taxes.
And it's not just Thailand making moves like this, is it?
No. The sources also mention that, similarly, Vietnam and Indonesia generally tax worldwide income for their residents, too.
So again, the headline affordability of a low-cost city in Vietnam or Indonesia,
Mm-hmm.
you must weigh that against your tax status as a resident.
Absolutely. The difference between not taxing foreign income and taxing worldwide income, I mean, that's probably the single biggest factor in long-term financial planning for any retiree with global assets.
That's a huge takeaway.
So, okay, we've covered the huge range in costs, the specific legal hurdles with visas, and these really critical tax shifts. Now let's look at sort of the lifestyle realities you can expect on the ground.
Yeah, the day-to-day stuff.
Right. And the sources really highlight the need to manage expectations
Ah.
and maybe look beyond just the biggest, most famous cities when you're planning for services.
Let's talk healthcare and infrastructure first. That's always a primary concern, especially for retirees.
Definitely.
Is the quality consistent across these popular countries?
It's often a tale of two systems, really. You generally find high-quality healthcare in the major capital cities, think Bangkok, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, often comparable to Western standards, especially in private hospitals.
Okay.
But once you get outside these main hubs, infrastructure, medical care, it can be extremely inconsistent.
Right.
The Philippines is specifically mentioned here. You'll find excellent care in parts of Manila, like Makati, but then you could see significant gaps in service delivery in smaller regional cities or islands.
So having robust private health insurance isn't just like a good idea. It's pretty much essential.
Absolutely essential. It's a necessary financial shield, especially if you plan to travel within the country or live outside the main capitals. You need that comprehensive coverage.
Got it. Essential, not optional.
And then there are environmental trade-offs. People often overlook these when they're dreaming of year-round sunshine and beaches.
Like what?
Well, take Chiang Mai in Thailand. Famous for its low cost, great culture, expat community.
Yeah, very popular.
But it deals with serious seasonal air pollution for several months a year, often called the burning season due to agricultural burning.
Ah, right. The smoky seasons. That could get pretty bad, can it?
It can reach really significant levels, yeah. Makes being outdoors unpleasant, sometimes even risky from a health perspective for weeks or months.
So you have to accept these kinds of seasonal trade-offs, whether it's monsoon seasons or air quality issues, depending on where you choose.
Exactly. You need to research the whole year, not just the peak tourist season picture.
Good point. On a more positive note, though, what about settling in? Culture shock, language.
Well, the cultural adjustment seems relatively eased in many places, according to the sources, mainly because English is quite widely used in many of the main expat hubs. Makes daily life, getting things done, much easier initially.
And that helps a lot.
But the sources also confirm, the diverse cultures themselves, the ancient temples right next to modern skyscrapers, the different foods, the traditions. That's a huge part of the primary draw for retirees. It's part of the appeal.
Absolutely. That's why people are looking at Asia in the first place. Hashtags, tag outro. Okay, so wrapping this up, our deep dive clearly shows Asia offers incredible potential. Financial freedom, amazing lifestyle.
Huge potential, yes.
But success really hinges on doing your homework, meticulous planning around those specific visa rules for your situation, and critically understanding these nuanced and sometimes massive changes in local tax law, like that huge shift in Thailand this year.
If we pull it all together, I think the key takeaway is this. You have to match your income source, like how and where your money is generated with your desired location's tax rules. Because a country that costs, say, $1,500 a month, but now taxes your worldwide income,
Right.
that might actually be worse for you financially than a country costing $2,500 a month that leaves your foreign earnings completely untouched. It's about the net result.
That makes perfect sense. The sources you shared, they're a fantastic starting point for anyone listening. But the next logical step is really personalizing this knowledge. Taking these insights we've unpacked today, the cost extremes, the visa pathways, those critical tax differences, and applying them directly to your specific financial situation, your income, your assets.
Exactly. Everyone's situation is unique.
So the essential question you really need to answer isn't just where can you live cheapest, It's more like, where can you live most securely financially speaking, given these recent and sometimes volatile tax policy changes?
That's the core question.
To get expert guidance on that and maybe find further resources tailored specifically to your retirement goals, your target destinations, we do have a clear path forward for you. Simply go to moveandstay.com/request. Let me repeat that. moveandstay.com/Weinster.
We really hope this analysis gives you the clarity you need to, start properly planning that potential 2025 move.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.